protective factors around our community. And one of those things that we focus on is community involvement and pro-social behaviors. And so when we see the great things that youth are doing in our community, we want to celebrate it. We want to highlight it and spotlight it because they're our future leaders. They're our future great community members. And so we just want to bring more attention and appreciation to the great things. We have a small write-up. I think, do you have that already? Okay, so yeah, I'll let you read that and then we have some gifts for each
So
of
I'm
them.
going to come forward. I'd like to invite Max Hall to come stand with me here. So as Jamie mentioned, there was a call out to nominate outstanding youth in the community. And I'm first going to read a little bit about this letter I received. I'm just going to read a portion of it. She had a lot to say, and I'm going to give it to you for your memory book. Good morning, Mayor. I want to take 2 or 3 minutes to let you know a few admirable traits and habits and all about my neighbor, Max. Maxwell Johnson is living the life of a Lindonite on his family farm plot. He is on the student project to help Tabitha's Way and has toured their new facility and held and attended a meeting there with their directors. He's often helping others. A lady that he knows recently had a knee surgery. Brother Ford, are you Ford? Go and walk her dog Penny so that Claire, a widow, won't have to give up her dog just because of this surgery. He helps his neighbors by waving hi when he passes by on the walking trail. He used to be kind of shy, but he is now a more confident young man, just like leading the pledge. Good job. Due to his interactions with service and other opportunities. Sings well and shares his interests and many talents with others. He likes Daniel Boone and acted out a history sketch at school regarding the settlement of urban America. He is a caring farmer. Twice daily, he helps his 2 cats, a dog of 13 years, 3 big goats, 3 small goats, and 6 chickens. Is that all? To be fed, warm, and protected. And she mentions later in the letter, you put them to bed at night. I would trust him with any of my animals for sure, though currently that includes only 1 cat. He brings treats, notes, and cards, cheer, and a caring visit to many of the neighbors over here, including to me and to my husband, a disabled amputee. We love it when he visits on our front porch. And she goes on. This is a full 3 pages, handwritten out. It's amazing. But I just wanted to share, finally, she said, Max sets goals and achieves them. And so each night, rain or shine, snow or starry skyline, Maxwell puts his animals to bed. He is presently helping to fix a little barn for them with the help of his dad. So she talks about a lot of the service and just how he is a light to all the neighbors, friendly, hello, helpful, always looking to help squabbles with other kids, just an outstanding young man. And her final thing, she says, I highly recommend Max Johnson and nominate him as an outstanding youth. She wanted to be here tonight, but she just had some cancerous things, lesions removed from her face, and she's love to be here, but maybe you can go give her anyway, let's give him a round of applause. We've got this gift basket for you, and we'll give this to your mom. And council, will you come stand up? Let's get a picture with this outstanding youth here. Come on over here.
Right there, bud.
I'm gonna have you go this way. All right, for this next one, I'd like to invite Yvonne and Gleason to come forward. All right, I wrote up something about Yvonne, and I'm hoping I'm not going to cry. I love her so much. Okay. I am nominating Ivana Gleason as an outstanding youth in Lindon City. I am nominating her as a very special person.
Please don't cry, it'll make me cry.
Who was part of our inaugural youth council. And she stepped up as a leader from day one. We didn't know what we were doing. We were figuring it out, leaders included. And she always came with just an amazing, positive attitude, just so cheerful, and she was dutiful. She attended everything. I can't even think of a time you missed. So anyway, so she stepped up as a leader and an amazing example for a consecutive 3 years, finally serving as deputy mayor this past year. She has a passion for helping others, is an incredibly hard worker who is dedicated in attending the activities and service projects, acting as a connector, whose friendly presence always made others feel seen, heard. Last January, she was selected as one of only 2 youth in the moderate a mock debate up at Capitol Hill. She's an expert parliamentarian and debater. Helped train some of the other youth how to do that. And our council was acknowledged as one of only 6 youth councils in the entire state that had an actual mock legislative policy up there. And I have some legislators now that are running with that idea that you could debate it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so our debate was up there at the Capitol in January, and it was attended by over 400 youth from all over the state of Utah. She has been an amazing contributor in setting a positive tone and fun traditions of the Lindon Youth Council. Go ahead and present you this council. You get to get up again. All right, I'm going to get a picture here with you guys. One more picture. Sorry, Dad, I turned around. Okay. Take care. And Ivana is the oldest of 9 kids here. Look at her family. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. And you guys are welcome to stay as long as you wish. We
Do
have.
I not get to make comments?
Yes, well, go ahead. Go ahead. Steve has a comment.
I
Yes.
have to comment.
Yes.
So my career was 35 years as a teacher and principal. I'm here tonight to see of their successes and the traits that make them, that eliminates any kind of ceiling on what you can be and what you can become. And Max, you're so young. It's going. You keep it up and you'll be an example to others. Really appreciate that. And Ivana, sorry. I don't cry. But I was there to help start the youth council from year 1 and watched Ivana step in with confidence and poise and energy, and so appreciate youth like you that come in and helped us develop where we are today. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want to echo what Steve said, only I probably won't tear up. I didn't get the privilege of working with Ivana individually. Max, awesome. I'd also like to call out Jensen, excuse me, sorry Jamie. I went to school with a girl named Jamie Johnson, so oops. Now, Jamie, thank you for helping this program. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to recognize these great young people who are our future. Thank you.
And I just have to give our red shirt ladies in the back, our current youth council advisors, Lindon and Sharon.
I have great neighbors.
We love it. All right, we have one more exciting presentation. So I'd like to invite Sarah Witt, who's being awarded. got a Jim voice.
This is Leanne Powell. She's the Executive Director of the Parks and Recreation Association for Utah.
So thank you so very much. As you mentioned, Leanne Powell, over an association of about 2,000 parks and recreation professionals throughout the state of Utah, among which, probably 5 or 6 of your full-time and part-time staff are members of this association. And it's always my greatest honor to be able to go back into communities and really highlight some of the great work that's happening. So tonight's presentation is specifically about Heath getting the CPRE, which is the Certified Parks and Recreation Executive designation through our national affiliate, the National Recreational Parks Association. And pretty amazing, Heath makes the 8th person in the state that has received this designation. And it really talks a lot about the leadership that he creates here in both Lindon City and statewide. And there's only just under 400 nationally of these CPRE designated professionals throughout the nation. So I had asked to be put on the agenda mostly so I could come and just highlight a little bit of the great work led by Heath in the Parks and Recreation Department that maybe sets Lindon City apart both statewide and nationally. So in Parks and Recreation, there's really like 3 pillars that we concentrate on. And the first is health and wellness, right? And the great work that Jamie's doing, again, leading the state, right? Like I heard about the communities that care, and all of a sudden, everybody was telling me, oh, you gotta get a hold of Jamie because she's doing, the work in Lindon, and so she and I have had several conversations, but Parks and Recreation, we are all about health and wellness. How can we make our communities as healthy and as well as possible? Because we all know when we're healthy, then we can create all the great things that we do in communities. If we don't have that health, we can't, right? It's just base level. It is so important for us to focus on health and wellness. And again, the communities that care. Lindon City was one of the first designees for the healthy communities through Get Healthy Utah. And one of the things I'd like to highlight, you probably don't know this, but you're a fairly small community. Right? Shocking, I know. But again, to be a leader, one of the first cities to get that designation through Get Healthy Utah, and led the way for a lot of other cities, one of the first 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden now, as he's getting up and talking about it in meetings, more communities are starting to concentrate on what are some of the ways we can really put together a citywide coalition to make our communities healthier. So great leadership, again, statewide and nationally, with that health and wellness pillar. The next pillar that we really concentrate on is Parks and Recreation for all. Like, how do we become the most belonging city that everybody gets to be a part of what we're doing? We really develop that community pride and reach out to all of our communities. So I guess a good example of that would be this year. Neighboring city Pleasant Grove had a resident that called, Megan Zollinger there, and said, we don't really have any adaptive recreation. What can we do about that? We've got some children in our communities that would really love to participate in, say, junior jazz or soccer. What do we need to do about that? And so Megan got on the phone with Heath, and they started brainstorming, like, what can this look like? And just in about 6 short months, I'm gonna say, they have developed this whole countywide coalition of about 10 communities, where one of the communities is running basketball and another one's doing soccer, and really focusing on how do we get to all of our community? How do we include everybody in these great parks and recreation programs? So that's a great example of that. Let's try to get everybody we can involved, and from little kids to seniors, and all the great things that are happening in Lindon City is a reflection of that belonging, trying to get everybody to belong to the community and really engage in what you guys are doing as a community. The last pillar that I'm going to talk about is sustainability and conservation of land. Our great parks in all of our communities, bike trails, like the vision to have bike trails from the mountains to the lakes, creating safe bike lanes for kids to get to schools, taking land and developing it into parks and open space and conserving that for generations to come, I think is a great reflection of that idea of sustainability and all the things you're doing. So great work happening in Lindon. Again, one of the greatest communities in the nation to live in, obviously one of the great communities in Utah to live in, leading the way, even small and mighty department that's doing great things and being statewide leaders for all of the rest of our cities to say, hey, if a city the size Lindon can do it, why can't we, right? And then being the voices that people reach out to say, how do we do this? How can we, how do we work together? How do we build these coalitions? So it's just an honor for me to recognize, again, the great work that Jamie's doing, the great work that you're all doing, and especially your Parks and Recreation leader, Heath Bateman, and that designation as a certified executive and leading the way statewide and nationally is really just incredible, and appreciate the great work that you're all doing to help us. So
thank you for billboarding him. We love it. We love it. He brings so much to us, and I want to second everything you said. Our neighboring city, you mentioned Pleasant Grove. They unexpectedly had to close their pool for an entire season, and I called Heath and I was like, "What can we do to help our friends in Pleasant Grove?" He said, "You know what? Let's just give them the same benefit our residents get, and we welcome them to come, even though maybe it would make us a little more crowded." It was just that belonging. Absolutely. So and I texted him today. I said, "Heath, how much park space do we have in Lindon?" So keep in mind, we are only 8.5 square miles. We have 62 acres in grass and mowing alone, 10.8 miles in shared use paths, and 6 miles in trails. And it's growing.
And it's awesome.
For a little, we pack a punch, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Is it Leanne?
Yes.
Leanne, as you were talking about the whole thing, and you said, small Lindon city setting this great example, and why, for other cities to say, if this little town can do this, if this little city can do this, why can't we? And my mind was, well, because they don't have Heath.
Exactly.
Right? So,
Exactly.
I mean, I
All
don't
right,
want to
hold
get them,
on.
but Heath, truly, thank you. Thank you for
But
doing
it does make it, leadership is so important, and it does make a huge difference when somebody, I think of Heath, and one of my greatest mentors said, say yes, and then find a way to make it happen. If somebody comes to you, say yes, and figure out a way to make it happen. And that, I think, is truly reflective of Heath and his leadership focus is, we'll find a way to do it. How are we going to do this? What does it take to pull people together or create a coalition or whatever to make something happen? So yeah, I agree 100%.
Thank you.
All right, Heath. I know that you've had a picture with council before, but you need it.
Holding the certificate, right?
I'll let you hold that. Do I get to be in the picture? Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, we're set.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'll let you have that. Can I make one other just quick comment? So anytime I get a chance to come and do these presentations, the one thing that I want to point out is our great professionals, our community leaders, they cannot do the things they do without your support. So when you support Parks and Recreation, you're truly supporting the heart of the community and the things that they're able to do and bring people together. So this is for you as well, right? For your dedication and your support of all the things Parks and Recreation. So thank you.
All right, that ends our item number 2 on the agenda. We will now go to item number 3. This is our open session for public comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Open session for public comment is where anyone may approach the council here if they have a comment or a question that is not on tonight's agenda.
state your name and address.
I'm sorry, Carl Palmer, 16 South 900 East Lindon, Utah.
Something you're looking at doing, or what's what are your thoughts?
Getting a new neighbor.
They're not near me.
For those that don't know,
Right
his
behind
backyard
us.
is the canal and then the temple, so the new neighbors.
The closest people I have are the people that come after midnight and talk on the bench behind my house. I just didn't know what it is or what the thoughts are of the council or the planning commission on what rules need to be in place. And working at both plans, just.
Hey, fair enough, yeah.
Because you had that thing on the agenda.
Yeah, we're reviewing front, so that's a fair point to raise and review our community development directors here.
Mike, raise your hand.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we've been.
Okay. All right, thank you
Anything
very
else?
much.
You look good in red. Thanks.
Thanks, Al.
Move on to item number 4. This is our council reports. And I invite.
We've had this recognition for Youth Council and the opportunity to kind of start with leadership training and things. And so with the help of Lindon and Sharon Lee. Leadership principles and